question. Emma, feel good to get the win under your belt?
Very much so. I'm very pleased with that. It's never easy playing a first round, and especially on centre court. You know, there's a lot of emotions that go with it. And I'm just very pleased with the way I fought against a very tough opponent.
Hi Emma, there's no doubt the crowd was behind you today with words of encouragement and lots of applause. How did that help you through the tough moments, and how did it feel to have such a big fan base behind you?
Yeah, it was nice. I had a few friends and family here, so it was really nice to have them in the crowd and looking up to them and hearing them. And also, you know, the crowd, it's nothing really compares to playing on centre court. I think it's a lot of emotions and nerves go with that, but also a lot of support. And I think that in some crucial moments today, it was really beneficial and really helpful to have a lot of people, cheering for me, rooting for me. And when I made the last drop shot in the last game, I really felt the crowd erupt. So that was, that feeling, I definitely missed that last year.
Money?
Congrats, Emma. She's obviously a completely different opponent to Alexandrova. Just wondering, what is it actually like when the opponent changes on the day, and how do you get your head around that and plan for the new one?
Yeah, it's really difficult. I think with the notice, it was only, a few hours really. So when you've prepped the last, since the draw came out, to play one person, and then, it's a complete different style of player as well. You've worked on things specific, but I think it's all about just competing at the end of the day. And I think mental, when it's such short notice, you just have to keep your head together and just stay calm. Try not let the external circumstances throw you too much, but it is difficult. And I think you're just a little bit more on edge, but I think I managed to deal with it really well today.
Do you think they should change that rule maybe, where, because in theory she could have pulled out like 10 minutes before the match pretty much, and you'd have had to play lucky loser? Maybe a minimum time between them pulling out and you playing, or maybe you just get a walkover if they pull out within a couple of hours?
Well, I think it's difficult because I've been in the players side, and you're always hoping, when I wake up in the morning I'm going to feel a lot better, whether it's with illness, whether it's with injury. You feel like, okay, I'm going to see how it is in the morning. So I think it is good how it is, to be honest. It's just more having to deal with those consequences.
Charlie?
Well played today. I just wondered, given the way you're playing coming to the tournament, if you had any particular expectations?
As I said in the first press conference, I'd be over the moon if I won my first round here, and I really am. I feel, just the joy to be on site, the joy to be part of the buzz. I'm really just enjoying myself, and I think that each match I win should be celebrated a lot. I think for me, it's because I know how hard matches to win are to come by, and I think that now, having had a few wins under my belt, I'm like really cherishing every single one, because I know how difficult it is to be on the flip side of it. And results wise, I have no expectations. I just have expectations of myself to really put myself on the line on the court and fight, and not let any frustrations get to me.
Molly?
Slightly different to that then, on the subject of playing a lucky loser, did you remember that in your first round at the US Open when you won, you also played a lucky loser? I wonder if you see that as a good omen for how this fortnight could go?
I mean, of course, I haven't played a lucky loser very often, but last time when I played in a US Open, I think I knew at least the day before. So it was like I had more prep time. But I think it is also different, just the scenarios. I also wasn't opening centre court, so I know there's a lot more that goes with it. But I mean, for sure, it did pop into my head a little bit.
Emma, you've been through an awful lot since the last time you played Wimbledon. Could you describe in a bit more detail the feeling of walking back onto centre court? Yeah, I think the feeling of walking onto centre court especially is powerful. It's like that moment where you say bye to your team and everyone, and you go and you're on your own, and it's like, okay, like you feel like you're completely alone. And I think that it's something that you need to just take in your stride. I don't know one person who's probably playing their first round feeling unbelievable about themselves and like not nervous at all. And I think nerves are normal. It's just how you
use them and how you kind of channel that. And I think today, yeah, it was noticeable in the first set. I felt nervous, but especially against that type of opponent who's fighting incredibly hard, who has 0 to lose, like coming in as a lucky loser on centre court, it's pretty special to have. But I think that I dealt with it really well, to be honest, and she just made some incredible gets, like really, really good defence. And yeah, I wish her luck really in the rest of the season.
Eleanor?
Emma, you mentioned the football on court. Obviously, you know what it's like to have a lot of expectation and pressure on your shoulders. I just wonder, when you watch another sport like football or whatever, are you able to just watch as a fan, or do you sort of see, you know, because you know what they're going through a bit, do you kind of watch as an athlete, so to speak? Yeah,
I watched for sure as an athlete last night. I mean, I had a feeling like that they would still turn it around. I mean, the people I was watching, I was like, I don't know, like it was getting to like 93rd minute, and I was like, I have a feeling. And then Jude hit that insane goal. And I think that for me, when I'm watching and I'm like listening to the commentary, I'm like almost like I can literally just picture it, like, because 1 minute, it's just the way it flips, the story flips depending on how the result is going. And for sure, I sympathise with the players who are being told, you know, they need to play a lot better, need to play perfect. But I think at the end of the day, it's about getting over the line. And today I feel like, in a way, I used it as motivation. Like, it doesn't need to be beautiful. It doesn't need to be perfect. Like, as long as you get through the opening rounds, like, you give yourself another chance to play better and for circumstances to align. And as long as you're still in the tournament, you keep giving yourself that chance.
Emma, in front of David Beckham in the Royal Box, in your post-match flash interview on TV, you used the phrase "winning ugly." I think we all agree that the football last night was Frankenstein ugly. I hope you weren't referring to your performance, because you showed great resilience out there, didn't you?
Yeah, I think in a way, it was a little bit to do with my performance. I don't think it was, you know, perfect tennis. It wasn't, you know, clean, beautiful ball striking. It was just about managing, you know, the opponent and managing the fight and the circumstances. And I think, yeah, it's, you know, that classic tennis book, Winning Ugly. I think it's just so true. And especially in the opening round of a slam, where there's so much nerves that go with it, I would say to get through is just really big and important. And I think it was a real show of character from me.
I was been watching a lot of practice in Orangi, and I know you don't, and I see that players, like, when they're playing sets, they call their own lines. I know you don't play a lot of other players in practice, but have you ever had anyone, like, cheat you on the practice court? No names, but like.
Yeah, I think I have. Yeah, I've been hooked against, but I think with me, I genuinely I don't like calling my own lines because I feel like I can't see. So I always just try and ask someone who I'm caught with to call the lines for me. But like for me, when we're in practice playing points, if it's an inch in, inch out, it doesn't necessarily matter. Like, it's practice at the end of the day. But I think for some players, it's the biggest thing ever. So it's like, yeah, let them have it. It doesn't really matter.
How did you react when that's happened to you?
You just gotta laugh it off.
Willie?
What have you learned that's been most meaningful from Andy's example and any advice he's given you?
I would say, like, the biggest standout thing for me is when he lost in the final here of Wimbledon and then came back a month later and won the Olympics. I think that to get through 6 really difficult rounds and then losing the final and then to play a month later and be in the final again, your mind, without you realizing, just runs like deja vu scenarios, like, okay, I made it to the final, you know. And it's very difficult to shut that out, which is, in a way, why I'm very grateful and happy that I won the US Open, because to make the final and not win it, you're always kind of having the back of your head, like, okay, will I ever get it? Will I ever get it? And for me, I have it now. So, yeah, I'm just loving life, I guess.
And any advice that Andy's given you?
I think the biggest advice is just how he's always, you know, taking care of his operations, how he manages his people. Like, I haven't really spoken to him so much, but I think for me it's just like watching him operate day to day, watching him, you know, be like absolutely on it with everything. And even in practice, like now, like he's so on it, like to the minute. And I think me, when I was a bit younger maybe, and showing up 15 minutes before practice to, like, you know, do a few arm circles and, you know, swing my hand around and warm up, and he's there like an hour and a half doing treatment, like the full thing. He just sets really good examples.
Simon?
Emma, people can have somewhat short memories, so you obviously won the US 2021, and then people on occasion were sort of jumping on you a bit critical at times. With Gareth Southgate, obviously he's been the most successful English manager since Alf Ramsey final and semi. The treatment that has surrounded him in the England team, have you seen that and sort of thought that's a bit OTT and reminded you of anything you've gone through?
Well, I think football is just on a much bigger scale than tennis, so they're all under the microscope, and I do feel for the scrutiny because I feel like tennis is just a much smaller scale because the whole nation is watching the football, and the fans are very, very passionate. So in a way, yeah, but I relate a little bit, probably less than they're going through, but I think it just comes with success. It just comes with being at the top, and I think when they're not talking about you, that's when you need to start to worry.